Hi everyone and welcome back to another video. In this video, I'll be giving you a small guide on BEESMAS 2023 and how you can make the most out of it. And obviously, talking about making the most out of the event can vary quite a bit from person to person. So for someone, let's just say that making the most out of the event could literally just be finishing a few of the Bee Bear quest lines, getting most of the presents done and all ornaments on the tree, and that'd be a decent BEESMAS. For others, it may even involve finishing the entire BBM quest, which every year seems to get more difficult and difficult, which is one of those things that it's really interesting to see what it has in store for us. But in this video, I'll be going through 5 key areas you should work on this BEESMAS in order to maximise your success this year. So first of all, one important aspect of playing at BEESMAS is finding the correct balance between actively playing and macroing. So if you've not heard about macros in the past, or a bit vague about your knowledge about them, that is fine. Literally go into the YouTube search bar and search up BEESMAS simulator macro or something, and you should have somewhat decent results that will show you some good videos about macroing and how it works and what software you need. And by the way, it is quite simple once you get the hang of it. And macro can have as many benefits as people already know. So let's say you got to defeat mobs at regular intervals. So for instance, let's say there's a BEESMAS quest that wants you to defeat 100 rhino beetles. Obviously, when you're playing on your own actively, it can be quite hard to every 5 minutes remember, right, I need to go to Blue Flower, get these rhino beetles and pineapple, that is quite normal. However, when you're macroing, that will set an automatic timer, so when the cooldowns have run out, your bees will go and defeat that mob, or you'll head over there and then your bees will defeat them, however the order is these days, or actually how it always has been. But anyway, furthermore, you can also farm in the fields a lot more. So let's say you got a quest which requires lots of pollen, which maybe is not for your hive colour, so therefore could be more difficult to obtain. A macro is really good for that because it does make the game sort of less monotonous and boring, because the boring stuff can essentially be done by the macro, and it leaves interesting stuff to active play, things like boosting, handing in your quests, sorting your ingredients out, so heading into the blender, crafting stuff. Also, completing smaller quests are just generally fast without a macro. So I'm talking about the easy quests at BEESMAS, potentially, I don't know, the first Bee Bear quest where you literally just walk into a field to collect a few tokens. It's that easy. Or, you never know, there could be a sprout, and to get the best rewards, it's better to be playing actively. Then you can sort of choose how you walk around and what rewards you pick, rather than if you're macroing, you tend to be sort of confined to a set pattern, rather than obviously if you're actively playing, there's no boundaries and that. And also, there is no real point macroing the whole time, because at the end of the day, you kind of want to have fun in the game, and to have fun in the game, you actually have to play the game, but also to have fun at the same time. You don't want to be bored loads of the time, and that's what a macro sort of eases that problem. But yeah, let's move on to the next point. I feel like this next one should go without saying, but when BEESMAS arrives, don't waste your gingerbread bears, don't waste your snowflakes, don't waste your Robux, don't waste whatever stuff you can literally waste, because there's no real point, to be honest. Because, for example, every year, if you head to the Bee Bears catalogue and head to the bottom, there's usually something that's very expensive, I don't know, 500 gingerbread bears or something, or even beyond that, to be honest, where, you might take a while to grind for that, but at the end of the day, the reward is actually quite good. And for example, we've had the gingerbread cupboardy for 250 gingerbreads before, I believe, or although that is cosmetic, it's something you can only get in that BEESMAS specifically, and I believe that was 2020. But at the same time, there's so much other stuff you can get at BEESMAS, in the bundles. I know there's been bundles with gifted mythic eggs in and that before, so yeah, be sure to save your gingerbread bears or stuff like that, because although it might be tempting to buy the first thing you see and what you can afford right at the start of the event, when you think in the long term, it probably is more cost effective to go straight away for the more expensive things. Therefore, you can focus on it more, and even if you've got it and you have time, you can always go back and grind for the smaller items, bundles maybe with a few extracts or just ingredients or something in them, which can be useful. But in my opinion, I'd say it's probably better to grind for the more expensive things first in the catalogue. Same goes with snowflakes, basically, because they basically use under the same principle. Although I can understand buying the really cheap stuff with snowflakes, literally because you can get Bee Bear quests that do require you to purchase stuff from the catalogue, so that'd be quite useful to use snowflakes for. But apart from that, I wouldn't really gingerbread bears where possible until you get the the best expensive stuff. Same with Robux as well. So if you head over to the shop right now, as you can see, we have a Cyber Monday special pack where you can get 1 mythic egg, 2 50 tickets, 50 stingers, 10 loaded dice, 5 night bells, 10 glitters, 1 black balloon, and 1 atomic tree. And in my opinion, I think it's a very good value for money. So if you have the Robux lying around and you're mid game, maybe even early, late game, I definitely go for this because the tickets can also be useful if you need an event bee or you want to save up for a star treat or something. The stingers just in general can be useful because I think if I was offered 50 stingers for free, I'd definitely take it, although obviously the packet's not free. 10 loaded dice saves crafting them and it's quite good in boosting. Again with glitters, some nice materials to get, and the black balloon is generally quite useful for boosting. And of course the mythic head can be useful for whatever. If you want to hatch it. If you want to donate it, or if you want to do what I'm doing and like literally flex my egg collection, which I don't do, yeah, you can keep it for that because I have 5 of these right now and hopefully I should get more soon because I'm currently grinding the the brown bear quest line to get the mythic egg. Yeah, but aside from that, that's all I really have to say. So in a nutshell, don't waste your stuff. Go for whatever you think is the best thing to go for first, like in your head. So maybe your heart might say, alright, yeah, this is the best stuff because it's cheaper, but in reality, the best stuff is literally the most beneficial thing you can realistically obtain in the amount of time you play. So yeah, that's all I have to say for that. Okay, so I think this next point more so applies to players who are closer to endgame and do play BEESMAS quite intensely quite a lot, and it's simply just boosting at the right time, because boosting at the right time can be quite a tricky thing to work out, and I feel like these days the factors for a good boost is way more advanced than it probably would have been, say, like 3 or 4 years ago. But just a few things I'll say on this. Make sure you have all your items ready for boosting, so you got the perfect nectars lined up, so maybe do some macroing beforehand. And make sure you have some nectar on the pot, because that can save a lot of time having to get extra nectar as well. Also make sure you got all your boosting materials ready, so literally just like super smoothies, your balloons, what else? Even just your hive is ready also. And make sure you donate some decent to the wind shrine. You got your jelly beans, even the marshmallow bee in some circumstances, although maybe more so for white hives, so it does give white pollen, but at the same time the capacity and conversion rate can be very useful. Another good tip is for this is to make sure you got your honeybee quest ready, not the BEESMAS one, just like the normal honeybee quest, because you can get the extra conversion rate from that for 30 minutes, which again is very useful. If you're doing it in like a very extreme boost, obviously make sure you got a festive beam ready, but essentially just make sure you can max out every single thing you can possibly do before you do a big boost. If you're doing a smaller boost, obviously just getting a bit of honey, then more so you wouldn't need to do as much of this. So if you're doing a smaller boost, I definitely recommend some materials still, so just being able to maybe get a ×2 to ×4 boost on the field, for example. Being able to use maybe some extracts or some purple potions, so not the most expensive stuff for a minor boost, but still enough to call it a success for what you did, because going back to the idea of, making your sort of items cost effective, so, maybe, so let's say you use a purple potion, but you only really use about, I don't know, like 50% of its potential, like of what you could have done with it. If you can make around 80 to 90%, that makes it way better, obviously, way more useful to, and just less regretful to use items, I guess, in boosting, because obviously since on it added a new endgame items, there's a lot more materials required for things such as the tie popper, the gummy baller, the dark scythe, as well as some of the new planters, and probably most endgame players will have all of those by now, but people like me, I don't really play a whole lot, so I am sort of passively grinding for that sort of stuff. So yeah, just make sure you boost at the right time, as I just said, because if you don't boost at the right time, then you're limiting the amount of honey you can make unnecessarily, and I'm sure you like to make as much honey as you can in the boost, so that's the whole point of me making this tip into the video. Okay, so this next one might seem really stupid, but I'm gonna say it anyway, because from my experience, I feel like it would be very useful, and it's don't rush BEESMAS when it comes out straight away. So this sort of links back about the part of the balance between macroing and natural play, but if you come into BEESMAS thinking, right, I'm gonna get this all done so fast, I'm gonna do it really fast, do it all within one day, you're not gonna be as effective as you probably could be, because from my experience personally, so let's say day one of BEESMAS starts, I start trying to grind out every single quest I can possibly do, and maybe sometimes it does work, like you generally get it all done, but sometimes you might struggle to get it done, then it sort of affects your motivation, and you might not want to play BEESMAS, and in the long term, you actually take longer to do the quests than you actually would have done if you just taken it at a sort of more relaxed pace. So for example, maybe when you join, you might just think, alright, let's get the bee bear quest done, but as soon as those cooldowns start annoying you, it can sort of maybe drain your motivation, as I just said. Or even some quests are just very difficult, like the stick bug quest tends to be every year. You know, last year we had to defeat like those cog mowers and turrets and that, which it took me quite a long time to say the least. You know, it can really affect your motivation. Obviously, if that affects your motivation, then you're not going to be able to do as many quests, and if you can't do as many quests, you know, in the long run, then you're going to struggle to get to the BBM, get to like the gummy bear, etc. Which, and at the same time, you're not going to get that done. So it has a really big knock-on effect. And if you take BEESMAS at a slightly slower pace, so make sure you got stuff in time for when new content comes out, because that can be crucial because you don't have to waste time there. If you take your time, I feel like you're going to enjoy it more because you've always got something new to do. There's no time where you're going to be bored because you've constantly got something to be doing. So yeah, my general advice with this is take BEESMAS at like a steady pace, because we've seen like over the years how long it's eventually gone on for. Like last year didn't end till like this like May or so, so you know you've got plenty of time at BEESMAS, so there's no rush. So that's my general advice for that. Okay, so my final point on this video is going to again lead off from the last point about obviously not rushing the content, but before the event, if you have access to the test realm, which I can make a video about at some point because I reckon on it we'll start testing the new leaks soon, which actually got leaks like while making this video, but I've made this video over the course of a few days, so you know, that's sort of expected. But anyway, if you're in the test realm, don't spend too much time in the test realm. That is a rookie mistake for people who are in the test realm. Many people think, oh yeah, I want to join the test realm because I want early access to the update, I want to play it before everyone else. But it is on a separate game, as you probably know the test realm, and the progress doesn't necessarily carry over, and grinding the test realm too much can be quite detrimental because when the actual event comes out, you're going to think, oh, I've done this before, this is boring, and actually, you're not going to get as much benefit from the event because if you're not going to, you know, if you're going to be burned out from the event before it even technically starts, and or hope if you've got really in doing the event at a decent pace that can potentially, you know, help you get everything done. And maybe in the test realm it can be good to grind sometimes, because I do know that on it has done like competitions before, you know, with like the hive colors and that, you know, whoever does the most grinding and, you know, helps them test the most players can get rewards in game. I do understand that, but I do think that grinding in the game for these items can just be generally more effective anyway. So I think the test realm can be cool to test out new content to see how it works, and obviously if you can find out how it works, then it's going to help you when the update comes out, because you're going to have a head start on knowing how everything functions. It's just finding that balance in between learning about the update but not actually engaging in the update too much before it actually is introduced to the main game. But yeah, do have fun in the test realm though, because in my opinion it's a bit of a crazy place, and I do just go in there randomly sometimes to build random hives, and yeah, let's just say it is quite enjoyable. And what is he doing? Okay, he's macroing. Right, that's about all I have to say for this video. Do stay tuned, because I may do some videos on the new leaks or when on it adds stuff to the test round, because if you've seen the BEESMAS leaks Discord or like my Discord in the past few days, you would have seen it's gone, let's say it's gone quite crazy to the point that my Discord moderation bot Wick has actually blocked BSS leak webhooks because they were sort of posting quite a lot. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not even joking there. Like, the amount of leaks has been actually quite a lot the past few days, and I know it's been adding a lot of stickers and that, and I will post on these leaks sometimes, but it can be difficult when you've got other YouTubers who are posting like very fast, which is fine. I just think, you know, you only really need one person to tell you about the leaks, you know, in depth, and I feel like there's a lot of very good YouTubers that do that, like, you know, like, for example, you've got Banana, who like posts leaks insanely fast after uploaded, which is quite some feat, to be fair, so fair play to him. But yeah, apart from that, there should be some more videos in the next few days as well. Actually, have seen like the past week or so, my upload schedule has been ramped up a decent amount to the point where I'm not uploading once every three months, and I'm going to end this video how I ended the last one, or the one before, I can't remember, by defeating Windy Bee. So yeah, apart from that, be sure to join my Discord server and subscribe to the channel, and just, I don't know, have a good day, and goodbye.